I've got to take Riley Greene. Just continues to get better as he has done every year of his professional career. Last year was the first time that his OPS fell a little bit. However, I think we would take Riley Greene's season last year versus what he had 2 years ago. The 36 home runs, I know it came with the 201 strikeouts, which was a franchise record. It was the American League leading 201 strikeouts. It's not good. It was a polarizing season because on one hand, 36 bombs, that's a lot. On the other hand, the approach at the plate, the strikeouts, not even just the strikeouts themselves, but more so the eye test and watching his at-bats, that was the most frustrating part of it because the 7% walk rate, the 30.7% strikeout rate, the 31% chase rate is what got real ugly. I read a story from Petzold yesterday about Riley Greene and how he kind of came to the realization this offseason that he wasn't thinking very situationally with his at-bats yesterday. Every at-bat was the exact same approach, which I'm sure there's a lot of people listening to this like, yeah, no duh. We all watched his at-bats. Whether there was no runners on, bases juiced, 1 out, 2 outs, it didn't matter. He was trying to hit the ball 6,000 feet. I think there was a real come-to-Jesus moment with Riley Greene this offseason of, hey, man, that can't be my approach. He had some really fascinating quotes about that were written from Petzold in the Free Press over the last couple of days to where I'm kind of bought in to Riley Greene taking another big step forward this season because I would say from rookie year to sophomore year, yeah, big step. Sophomore year to junior year, not junior, but third season, big step. And then it was like a baby step. It was like, yeah, we're going to get a lot more power, but it's going to take a big hit in terms of his batting average, which was subpar last year. I think we see that batting average rise, and the home runs don't really fall at all. And if they do, it's still 30-plus home runs. I say Riley Greene has the best year of his career, without a doubt, undisputed. And while all the attention this offseason offensively has been on Kevin McGonigal joining the team and Colt Keith being someone who can be a 20-home run guy, what if Riley Greene's just like, I'm still the best freaking bat we have. I'm still a 2-time All-Star, soon to be 3-time All-Star, and one of the best left fielders in baseball. I'm going to solidify myself as not just a star in this league, but one of the premier perennial All-Stars that we have in the American League. That's kind of where I'm thinking Riley Greene goes this year. And I haven't seen too many people thinking this going into the season yet.
I think the reason why people aren't thinking that is because of the reasons you brought up. Like, the hype is starting to shift a little bit. And I don't think it's people think Riley Greene is going to decline and get worse. I don't think that is in play at all. Like, I would be very shocked if that happened.
There's just no way he has 200 strikeouts again. There's no way.
Right, but is there a world where he has 180 and still is towards the top of the league? I think that's very, like, I think the reason why people are not down on Riley Greene but are just mad on Riley Greene, and I kind of fall into this category, he just is what he is. I think Riley Greene has shown us like the player he's going to be, which is not this. It's not a bad thing, by the way.
But I don't think who he's going to be is who he was last year. I think that is
okay.
That is the anomaly season or the off the chart season in terms of the strikeouts in a bad way. Like, that's the exception to me. I think we go back to what's his career on path. Like, he's still young. That's what people forget. We treat him like this veteran, and he is a veteran by all accounts, but he's still a young player relatively in this league. I think he can continue to ascend forward, and you know the strikeouts that he had last year, that can be one side of the bell curve.
Sure. I think there's a reason why Riley Greene never got his big contract extension. Just because, and it's another thing that relates to front office versus like who was in place when they were drafted, who is in place now. Scott Harris clearly has the guys that he prefers over, and not saying he doesn't prefer Riley Greene. I mean, obviously he does, or else why would he still be on the team, you know? So I think there's a reason why, because we don't know what he is. I'm sitting here thinking I think he might be the guy that we've seen last year, which is still a really good player, like 35 homers, 100-plus ribbies, just is not going to have an insanely good batting average, going to strike out way more than he walks. I don't think the strikeouts are that big of a deal if he just walks more, by the way.
Yeah, I'm with you.
It's not that big of a deal if he at least just gets on base more, because that means his OPS is going up as well.
And less 3-pitch at-bats, less 4-pitch at-bats. If you're striking out on an 8-pitch at-bat, that's a lot different than going down 3 strikes.
Yeah. And still was a above 800 OPS guy last year. Like that's good. That is basically the qualifier of being a good hitter in Major League Baseball. Be above 800. And so it's just, is he in the super? It goes all the way back to that talk that we had 1,000 times last year. Is he a star? Is he a superstar? Is he a franchise player? Is he a all-star? Like where does he fall? And I think it's still totally up in the air. The stuff that you're throwing out, I think could happen. I just don't necessarily know if he can do what he did last year, the 36 homers, that amount of RBIs that he had, while also cleaning up everything else. It seems like a lot. And if he does, then he's an elite player.
Yeah, like a borderline MVP.
And I just don't know if I see that.
So what's the ideal, like, let's just strip this down to the studs. What's his ideal batting percentage or batting average to you if he's going to be 35 home runs, let's call it? Like, what would be like a holy cow, this guy, a realistic number where you're like, this guy he eliminated the strikeout stuff. He doesn't always go for the home run. He sometimes just wants to put it in the gap and help runners score.
It's like, to me, batting average, you know how I stand.
I know.
Batting average is like, if he hits
stat.
260 like he did last year, I think that's fine. It's the fact that he walked 40 times last year while striking out 200. Like, that is an insanely terrible ratio.
But he didn't hit 260 last year, I don't think. No, he
258.
Yeah. Yeah. What if that can get up to like 280 though?
Then we have a really good player. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I really think there's a chance that if he's being honest with himself, and I have no reason to think that he's not, of this quote of like, I had a lot of conversations about the situations in the moment, slowing the game down and not letting the game speed you up mentally. I really want to focus on that. I want to take what the game gives me. Okay, that to me tells me a lot more. Just hit singles into the gaps when there's runners in scoring position and no outs. Like, there's no need, or even 2 outs, I guess, is maybe the better example. If he's really going to hone in on that and eliminate the bad from his game, and we see him take that step forward, like, maybe the question is as simple as, is it actually realistic that Kevin McGonigal is going to be the best bat on this team, or anyone on the team is going to rival Riley Greene
in year one?
Yes, this season. Is
Right.
anyone actually going to take away the title of best bat on the team from Riley Greene? I think the answer is no.
I think I would agree with you on that. It would be pretty lofty to say McGonigal's going to do it, and then that would also just mean, like, okay, then someone who's currently on the team is going to do it, and that'd be lofty for Colt Keith. And Spencer we saw a really good version of him last year.
Very consistent player.
He would have to take an enormous leap up to pass Riley Greene. So, yeah, you're probably right from that perspective. And it all comes down to, like, the comments that Riley Greene made. That was what we talked about last year, was like a mindset shift. That's what is needed for Riley Greene, is clearly
he didn't care about it last year.
He has it set in stone when he goes up to the plate, like what he wants to do, which is fine. And because he hit 36 home runs. Like, that's the tough part to balance that. But it also means that you're going to have a month stretch twice a season where you are terrible.
Yeah. When we need you the most.
Exactly.
And that was the most damning part about Greene last year, was people would ask him about it. Like, hey, man, are you ever going to fix that approach at the plate? Why would I change it? It's worked for me so far. And it's just like, oh, geez, man, that's actually the answer.
That's concerning.
The answer you gave is actually worse than what you're doing out there.
Right.
Which is, again, like, the strikeouts didn't bother me as much as the approach of the 3 straight swing and misses. That would enrage me. That was like a Javi Baez at bat, especially when the Tigers and Scott Harris will continue to harp on the fact that, well, we pride ourselves in the strike zone. And guess what's going to be even more important than any other season in the history of baseball this year with ABS? Knowing the strike zone. A.J. Hinch has been very clear about that in spring training. The teams that'll utilize and take advantage of ABS the most are the teams that know their strike zones the most. So that's been a focus for them here in spring training. Okay, Riley Greene is like number one example of, hey, man, we got to just get to know the zone a little bit better. We got to stop chasing. The whiff rate has to go down. If he strikes out 170 times, I'm not really going to care if he's walking more and that OPS is high and he's still hitting 30-plus home runs. I think all of that stuff is still on the table because, again, Riley Greene has just – the progression for him has been linear, with last year being – I still think last year he was an all-star, for crying out loud. Like, as much as we harp on the negatives,
it just
there was
didn't end the
as
way
many
you wanted
positives.
it to. I think that's most likely why. Like, it ended going down, which isn't fun.
I think there's a chance. Like, I'm willing to jump on to buy Riley Greene stock this year. He eliminates a lot of the negatives that we thought of him heading into this season, and he's a lot more consistent of a player.
Is there a lot of pressure on Riley Greene this year, especially with the McGonigal stuff of like, he might not even be on the team to start the season?
I think you can put McGonigal aside. They didn't add an external bat. Whether McGonigal's on the team or not, they chose to not add a bat in free agency. Riley Greene, as of right now, is the best bat on the team. Of course there's pressure on him. They're all in on a World Series. This is, by Fangraphs projection, the number 2 rotation in all of baseball. The offense has to be above average.
Solid,
like, we're not asking for Riley Greene to carry a top 5 offense. No one is asking that. But can it be top 12? Can it be in the top 10 of the league? Can it be in the top third of the league in terms of offensive output, whether it's runs, OPS, whatever it is? If the Tigers are going to lead be in the top third of some of those statistics, their best bat, the guy who's going to lead the team in ABs, assuming he's healthy, which he did stay healthy last year, that he should get credit for that.
Yeah, and that was really the first time.
If he's going to lead the team in ABs again, it's just a simple fact. Like, he's going to have to drive that OPS up again, which is going to require more walks and less strikeouts. And I'm willing to put my foot on the table and say right here and declare I'm willing to bet on that. I will buy some Riley Greene stock going into the year because right now it feels like it's a little bit down to where it should be going into, will this be year 5 for a 2-time All-Star?
Good time to buy, you're saying.
I think this is a good time to buy Riley Greene stock.
It'd be impressive if you could put your foot on the table.
Like that?
Oh, there we go.